Diving in Malta and Gozo has been on the top list of best diving destinations in Europe and even the world for years. But is it even that good? Hey everybody, Torben here from DIVEIN, the place where we test and review dive gear, give you the best dive destinations and share tips and tricks that helps you become a better diver. Malta has personally been for me a favorite for a lot of years. I love coming back to dive in Malta and I love coming back to see all the things on land as well. Gozo as well is a favorite for me for diving. In this video, what we'll cover is really why Malta and Gozo is worth visiting for diving. We'll talk about when the best conditions are for diving. We'll talk about where the best dive sites are and how you plan your trip or get around there. And we're going to talk about some topside things I think you should see when you're there. And finally, why Malta might not be for every diver, or at least why you should consider not going here. Now, let's dive in. Oh, before we get started, as you know, we test a lot of dive gear, and even though we love it, we can't use it all. So somewhere in this Malta video, I'll tell you how you can get your hands on some of the dive gear that we've been testing here at DIVEIN, and maybe you can bring it on your next trip to Malta. Now, why should you dive on Malta and Gozo? Well, I'll start with the location. Put Malta on a map. Malta is a small island nation in the middle of the Mediterranean, between Sicily, just south of Sicily, and north of North Africa. It includes 3 islands, Malta, Gozo, and Comino. And even though they are small, all 3 islands, they really punch way above their weight in terms of diving and traveling for that matter as well. And here's why. Well, first up, variety. So you got the shore diving, you got boat diving, you got wrecks, caves, drop-off walls, nice marine life, nice climate, World War II heritage wrecks, a bunch of artificial wrecks as well, so really a lot of diving. Second is access. You can drive to a lot of the main dive sites, so shore diving is an option here. You can also do boat dives. It's short boat ride away from it, which makes it really favorable for that reason, so it's easy accessible. Third is the conditions. Water temperatures ranging from 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius in the winter to 81, 27 degrees in the summer. And visibility is around 20 to 40 meters. And last but not least, the culture. Malta has been an established nation for a lot of years, but has the history of medieval Templar knights that actually held Malta for many years. And it's been a crossroad for wars as well. Malta became a really important location for the Brits during World War II, and they kept it for a lot of years. So a fantastic history as well. But when should you actually go to Malta? Well, you can dive here year round. Main dive season is from April to October. The warmest months are from July and August, and definitely also the busiest month. So if you are visiting really popular dive sites, it can get crowded. If you want warm water, nice visibility, fewer people, I would recommend you going May, early June, late September, early October. I've been there in late November. I've been there in February as well. Fantastic diving and definitely not as many crowds. Above land, it was t-shirt weather, shorts weather. In the water, I was mainly in a dry suit, but I've also been testing wetsuits there, so they're thicker wetsuits. But you can really dive here year round, and winter diving is an option. You really can dive everything from a shorty or a 3mm to a dry suit. I know a lot of dive guides working there. They do dry suits all year round, but you can do, especially if you're diving in the summer, go for a lot shorter. If you're diving winter, 8mm semi-dry or dry suit. Summer, go for the shorter or thinner wetsuits. So let's talk about where to dive in Malta, because that's of course why you want to go here. So Malta, the main island, has more than 60 mapped dive sites, of course depending on the dive center we map them. Diving is really done all the way around, but there is most diving done in the north. Top picks, Al Farut. I don't know if I actually pronounced that correctly, but this is a 361-foot, 110-meter Libyan oil tanker that was sunk in 1998 by an accident, actually. So it's not an artificial, it's an accident happened. It's located southwest, sits around 65 to 180 feet, 20 to 36 meters. And this wreck is huge. It's split into 2 sections, so it actually requires multiple dives to explore it fully. You can do this by shore diving, or you can do it by boat diving. Both is possible. If it's shore diving, there is a small swim to it. This is a intermediate experienced dive site, but it is a recreational dive site in terms of the diving. If we go north, we have the P29 patrol boat. This is a German patrol boat that was sunk off of Chikawa in 2007. That's the north point of Malta where the ferry leaves to Gozo. It's 170 feet, 52 meters long, and it lies around 59 to 124 feet, 18 to 38 meters. and with a deck around 98 feet, 30 meters. So this wreck is really special. It has this replica of a gun on the front, so you see a lot of divers having photos where they're standing in front of this one. And it is really excellent visibility, lovely wreck. You have a surface swim to the wreck, dive around it a few times, and then you can slowly go back, do a slow safety stop at the wall, and then you exit the water. Really amazing, fun dive to do. Usually people then do the Roshi wreck afterwards, the same place. It's a small tugboat that sits upright, makes for a perfect second dive. Really, lots of fish, a lot of marine life. Nice way of spending a day diving at the Chikawa. So this is shore diving. You drive up the car, there's a nice parking lot. You can go out, set up your gear, do the dive, come back. Service interval in between. There's a small truck that will sell you coffee, do your second dive, then go home. Amazing day of diving. Another really nice dive site, especially if you're in Valletta, is the HMS Mari. It's a World War II wreck broken up, quite shallow, 45 feet, 14 meters. This wreck is still recognizable even though it's broken up. Easy diving, good for beginners, and really nice when you're in Valletta. Another dive site worth visiting is the Imperial Eagle plus the Statue of Christ. So this is a small wreck off of Quora Point, reachable by boat, and then you have this Statue of Christ standing a few meters away, which makes a really good, relaxing dive as well. We got Garalapi Reef and caves, good shallow site for recreational diving or training. It features caves with live beams coming in and some cool rock formations and structures. We got the HMS South Wall for technical diving. This is a World War II destroyer that lies between 65 to 75 meters, so a technical wreck. And when we come into technical wrecks, they are scattered all over and around Malta. Now we have more coming in, so let's look at Gozo, because that's of course also some that really has a lot of the good dive sites. Here there's more than 40 map dive sites. They're found all the way around, and you really have a lot of things that Gozo is offering. My top 3 points with the Blue Hole Azores Alps. The collapse of the Azure window created boulder formations known as the Azure Alps. So that's really nice. Unfortunately, this Azure window collapsed, but that's what happens. Another popular point is the inland sea and tunnel. You start at a shallow inland lagoon and then you swim through a long tunnel that opens up into the deep blue ocean. The tunnel goes from 10 to 85 feet, 3 to 26 meters. We also have world famous the Karwela wreck, so the MV Karwela. This is one of Gozo's most famous wrecks. It's 192 feet, 58 meter passenger ferry that was sunk in 2006. It sits upright around 108 feet, 33 meters, so it's advanced diving, and it's really famous for its stairwell that if you go into it, you have this really beautiful stairwell with light coming down above and around the wreck. Is beautiful as well, really worth going for. Comino is the smallest of the 3 islands. It only has a few dive sites, but they are really like nice, calm, colorful, definitely worth it. So we have the Santa Maria Caves. This is the main site in Comino and main dive sites. This is a maze of tunnels, caves, and archways ranging from 16 to 60 feet, 5 to 18 meters. There is seriously little to no currents, and there's lights playing through this maze. A really relaxing, scenic dive, really beautiful, perfect for beginners or for the second dive of the day if you're coming back with the boat from Gozo or if you're staying from Malta. The only wreck on Comino is the P29, a 170-foot, 52-meter old marine patrol boat from the Armed Forces of Malta. It was sunk in 2009 to serve as an artificial reef, so it lies on a sandy bottom and with a depth of 66 feet, 2 to 20 meters. It sits upright, really nice wreck when you're diving down to it, because it's so shallow, anyone can really do it within all levels. And you can either choose to just dive around it or you can go into it. Because it's an artificial wreck, it was made safe as well, so there's no harmful stuff sticking out inside the wreck. It's really easy to penetrate and you can see a lot on the inside, or you can just enjoy it from the outside. Most dive boats stop in doing Comino, doing a day trip, but there's a lot of day trips that are staying at the Blue Lagoon as well. It can get really busy. There's a lot of snorkeling going around, a lot of people in that area. Now, getting to Malta is quite easy. So Malta International Airport is located just outside of Valletta. Most European airlines or major cities has a route there. If you're flying from the US or other parts of the world, you have to direct via one of these major European sites. The airport is small but efficient. You can do a taxi, rental car, or pre-arranged transport. There's also buses going all the way around Malta. It takes around 45 minutes to an hour and a half half, depending on the traffic, to get from the main island to the north, where most of the diving and most of the dive centers are related. To get to Gozo, you drive to the Chickasaw ferry, a terminal north of Malta, and then the ferry is like every 45 minutes. It takes 25 minutes, quite an easy. When you're in Gozo, relocate with your hotel if you're staying at Gozo. Gozo is the more calm of the islands, where Malta has much more to do and much more variety of both cultural but also food options as well. If you're looking for a dive operator when in Malta, I can warmly recommend Seashell Dive Center, located in the Malta Bay, so north part of the island. We've been diving with them every time we've been in Malta, and I've never been disappointed. I'm quite picky about my dive operators, to be honest, and they are catering so well to all of our crazy needs. So Hubert and his team runs everything so smooth and so professional. The boat is designed with divers in mind, so we're talking roomy, organized space for divers, space for you and all your gear. This is also a fully technical dive center, so they do know how to cater to technical and of course also your standard recreational divings. No matter what you need, they really have you covered on this one. And as a really fun side bonus, Hubert is actually not just a diver, he's also a knight of the Order of St. John. So you can literally say you've been diving with a knight. That's fun for me, at least, especially when you're in Malta with all the history of knights around. Topside-wise, Malta has a lot to offer, mainly in terms of history. So Malta has been, for a lot of years, run by the Knights of St. John. So it was a knight or Templar knights that actually, after the Crusaders, came to Malta and took refuge in Malta. There's been a ton of wars fought over Malta after that. The Templar Knights were there for a lot of years. Then UK took over for some time, or Great Britain took over for some time. So really a fascinating history. Valletta is a fortification that stood out of war against Al-Sadin. I can't remember the actual name, but a sultan that tried to take over Malta. Fantastic history, really. And you have Medellin, the silent city that's in the middle, that has huge fortifications all the way around. You go through these small streets and it's amazing. There's just as much to experience above the water as there is below. It's really worth recommending going to Malta for both the diving and the topside. Now, why should you consider not going? Because of course there's also always things that will make you reconsider. Well, in the summer, high season, it's really warm and there's a lot of people, which means it's crowded everywhere. Malta is a perfect travel destination for all of Europe. It means they kind of scatter all around. That's a good reason not to go. There's a lot of diving to offer, both for technical divers and recreational. So in terms of the diving, I can't really say much of why you shouldn't go. All in all, I do consider Malta as one of my favorite dive destinations. And I think you should too. Now, let's talk about the giveaway, because that's, of course, also a thing. Yeah. Before we do that, if you want to read more about diving in Malta, all of the dive sites that I didn't cover in this video, because there are so many, on diving.com, hit it up. Find the Malta guide. It's also in the description as well. It will take you to the Diving in Malta guide on diving.com. Now for the giveaway, you have to do 3 simple things. First up, like the video, subscribe to this channel. Second up, in the comments below, tell me what you think about diving in Malta. Which dive site would you consider? And if there's any other dive destinations you think we should cover here on diving.com. Last but not least, in the description, there's a link to our newsletter. Sign up for that one, because it's in the newsletter. You can read if you are the winner of this giveaway. That's all I had for now, and I hope to see you in Malta at some point.